Welcome back to another episode of Tiny-tastic Talks. Today, I thought that we would tackle the subject of suffering. Yeah, we're going there because I feel like, we've all been there, and let's just talk. This topic has been on my mind because this is something that I thought a lot about while I was recovering from Ramsay-Hunt syndrome, which is facial paralysis and shingles in the ear. I thought a lot about this also when I was in the hospital and when I was trying to understand what my life was going to be like with the after effects of RHS and then with this new reality of functional neurological disorder. In May, it'll be 2 years that I came down with RHS, and then that was the domino effect into FND. So I thought we'd look at the etymology of words because I'm like that. And so I figure, why not? So the etymology of the word suffer is from Latin. So I don't know if I'm going to pronounce some of these things correctly. So it's firstly sub, which is from below. And then secondly, fare, which is to bear. The definition of suffering or to suffer is basically to be subjected to be subjugated to endure, to tolerate. And it seems like it can be externally, things that we don't choose to happen, right, to us. The archaic definition is undergo martyrdom or execution. Fun times. Okay, in focusing on the different definitions of suffering and whatnot, the whole idea of to endure or to tolerate, and then looking at the etymology in terms of like from below, and how oftentimes when we suffer, we feel like we just got kicked down, and we're repeatedly being kicked while we're down. And why does this stuff keep happening? And what in the world is going on? And I remember the question that I used to ask myself was not, why is this happening to me? And like all of that. I was confused, yes. But one question that I kept asking to keep my mind in a place that wasn't like going all over the place was, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? And now that might be like a totally corny, cliche question, but I feel like, for me anyways, in the midst of extreme pain, extreme uncertainty, extreme unhappiness, extreme confusion about everything in my life, I was trying to figure out what I could learn from the situation, because here I was on the brink of my career really beginning, and I was shot down. So what do I do? When we suffer, when we have to endure things that are not pleasant, that ultimately means that we have to have patience. And patience, the etymology of patience from Latin is pacienta, which is suffering. What? Like, okay, cool. All right. So the definition of patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset or annoyed. And sometimes I feel like, well, that's just my life. And like, how many of us can relate to this, right? Like, it's been our lives for years. It's been our lives for some of you, it's been 10, 12, 20, like 15 years, okay? For some, like someone like me, it's been, okay, almost 2 years of one thing, then another. So like, whatever, I'm approaching 2 years, okay? And I can only imagine those of you that have been dealing with after effects of different things or different chronic illnesses for 10 plus years, 20 plus years. I'd love to know how you've done it. Really, I do. Because I think, and I know maybe we hear this often, we learn more from pain than we do from the good times. I know that's true in my life. I can only talk from my experience in this way. But the stuff that I'm learning now, I would not have learned if my life would have just continued as normal. Where would I have had the opportunity to learn the stuff that I'm learning? The fact that ultimately suffering breeds empathy for other people. Suffering breeds wisdom. You gain knowledge, and more importantly than that, you gain wisdom into situations, wisdom into who you are, what's at your core, at the crux of who you are. I've learned that like life and suffering are just intertwined, and that's just the way it is, and that bad things happen to good people, and good things happen to bad people, and bad things happen to bad people, and blah 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 blah. Like it just, yeah, it happens. On the one hand, obviously there was a point in my life where obviously I was not okay with it, but now I'm like, okay, like it is what it is. What else? What can I do? And I think the reason why we learn more from times that are painful, there's a quote that I like that says, "Pain is only known by its fruits," which means to me that through pain, we actually have the opportunity to like produce something, which is a weird concept because we think of pain as obviously painful, but something that's unpleasant, that's uncomfortable. Since we have the opportunity to produce something, right? Pain is only known by its fruits. Then that opportunity is there rather than recoiling and becoming a hermit. Now, I understand that reality as well, okay? That I'll save that for another video. So it comes down to, what are you going to produce? What's going to come out of you that basically is your true self, ultimately? Whether it's your fighter spirit, your empathy and compassion for other people, the fact that you have greater understanding of life and what actually life is supposed to be about, the meaning of life, family, love, faith, that type of stuff. The suffering that we've experienced sometimes ages us. And that's not always a bad thing, because we have more insight, which is fantastic. I'm happy that I have more insight, right? And I'm not saying that we always have, like, that it's easy to look at the positive, right? Because we're developing patience, right? And I'm not trying to be all like, oh, we got to be positive and positive thinking. I'm not trying to be that girl, okay? Like, I'm just trying to get us to think about this in a different way than maybe we have before. For example, we also root for the underdog all the time. Or in a movie, we root for the people who have gone through immense tragedy in their lives, like they lose their wife and kids or whatever, and then they become someone that they didn't expect they could become, all because of the pain that they experienced, right? So what I'm trying to say is that you might have something within you, and you probably do, that is inside you that is just waiting to come out so that you can impact people, that you can help people. Whatever way you are meant to do that, you'll do it, you know? Like, I don't know. For me, this whole experience of living with a chronic illness and going through all the stuff I've gone through, it's like, okay, like, life is much more than just about me. Has to be. Otherwise, it's kind of like, it's not that glamorous. Like, I mean, like, I feel like I am glamorous at times, but like, obviously, you know what I mean? Like, that would be very selfish of me to think that life is just about me. In my opinion, life is about giving back to other people and impacting other people. And, you know, maybe you're in a part of your journey where you don't see that, and that's okay. I'm not trying to force you into that. I hope that you come to whatever conclusion you need to find peace within yourself, ultimately. Even though we are suffering, we still have the opportunity to produce things out of ourselves, to give back, to endure, to be patient. And it's not fun to be patient, okay, when we're in small things, right? We're in line at the cashier with the cashier, and like someone doesn't have a proper barcode on something, so they have to call the manager, and then you have to wait like 15 minutes for someone to get through the cash. Like, that's annoying, right? It's more annoying when you're not getting what you need from doctors, right? I understand that. You're not getting the care you feel you need. That's annoying. That's hurtful. It'd be more hurtful than annoying for me. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. So let's talk. Let's have a discussion. What's your opinion on this? I'd love to know. Comment down below. Like this video. Subscribe if you like what you see. If you haven't seen videos from me in a while, then I'll put some around. And I really hope you have a great weekend. All right. See you next week.